we're going to be looking at different types of errors and high-graded coins that sold for some big money. But first, let's start off with a double die obverse. So in 1959, you want to look for the double die obverse on your 1959 proof quarters. Now we're going to look at some other different quarters here as we go, but this is a 1959 proof quarter. You see how the lettering is doubled? That is a double die obverse, doubling taking place on the front of the coin. So always be on the lookout for that. You can look for different types of errors like this up close with coin microscopes, which I have available on couchcollectibles.com. Link is always in the description of every single video. But first off, here is that 1959. You see on the coin slab, it's graded by PCGS at a proof 65, and it says DDO. That means double die obverse, and this coin sold for over $145 because of the double die obverse and because of its high grade of a proof 65. Now for the double die reverse, there's doubling on the back of this quarter, so look for that on the lettering of the quarter. This quarter only sold for around 35 bucks, so nothing too valuable. But also what you want to look for is a repunched mint mark. So here's a couple examples of a repunched mint mark on a Washington quarter. So you can see the D here at the top being repunched. You see the outline of that D underneath, or to the top right of that D. And then we can see that these D's are to the left, south, west of the first impression there, it looks like. So always be on the lookout for those. And here is that 1959 RPM repunched mint mark. Now this coin sold for over $500 US. It does have that repunched mint mark, but the coin is also graded at a mint state 65, so that is going to give it a lot of value. If you guys are not familiar with coin grading, I have coin grading videos. Just type in coin grading Couch Collectibles here on YouTube and you guys will find those videos. Now, like I said, $500 quarter. Here's an example of a 1959D with, again, that repunched mint mark, graded at a mint state 64. This coin only sold for $100, but still it's a $100 quarter. Now if we look at a 1959D that is solely valuable because of its high grade of a mint state 67. It does not have any types of errors or anything like that. This coin sold for over $8,000. So you can tell how the grade affects a coin's value. Especially if there's not many graded at this grade or higher, it's going to, of course, increase the value of the coin. So, like I said, $8,000. Now, for the 1959 no mint mark, this is graded also at a mint state 67. It's got some nice little toning here to the right side of the coin. And this quarter sold for over $11,000. So, the 1959 no mint mark, $11,000. Now we looked at the proof double die coin, but we didn't look at the regular 1959 proof, and this coin sold for around $9,000, and that is because it is graded at a proof 69 deep cameo. So almost a perfect grade. The coin grading scale only goes up to 70. This is at a 69, so that is why it sold for over $9,000. And of course, you can always look for different types of reverses on your 1959 quarters. Here's a type B reverse on the right side. There's going to be a wider space in between the E and the S of the word states. And you can see that the E and the S is nearly touching here on the left side of the screen. So that is the difference. Now check out these other quarters that you should always be on the lookout for in coin rolls from the bank or even in your pocket change. For the 1969 quarter, if you guys find these in your pocket change, they are not silver. Now you could find an error where one maybe struck on silver, but that's about it. These are not silver coins, these are clad coins. They don't have any silver or any silver value. Now, the 1969, this is what you want to look for, and this is why you need that USB coin microscope from couchcollectibles.com, because the 1969 has an RPM, a repunched mint mark. Now, if we look at these two images here, you can see up close with that USB microscope that D mint mark is being repunched. Now, you got two different repunches there, look pretty similar. But this is what you want to look for because that can give your coin some value. Now this 1969 quarter has that repunched mint mark and it sold for over $140. Now it also has a pretty high grade. It's graded at a mint state 66. So that gives it a lot of value as well. Keep in mind, if you find a 1969 quarter in your pocket change or when you're coin roll hunting and it's all scratched up and dinged up, it's only going to be worth 25 cents. Maybe if you find one with an RPM and it's in decent condition, then you can sell it for something. But the mint state grades are really what gives them value. Speaking of that, here's a 1969 Washington quarter that has a very high grade. It's graded at a mint state 67, and pretty much it doesn't have any types of errors. So the high grade is what's going to give the coin value. Now this coin here sold for over $3,200. Alright, this next one here is another 1969D. It is a high grade. Now this is almost nearly perfect. It's graded at a mint state 68. The grading scale only goes up to 70. So this coin is extremely valuable as well. Now this quarter sold for over $3,800. Here is a 1943 silver Washington quarter. Now this one here has what is called a die adjustment strike. You want to look for this on really any type of coin because it can happen on different coins. Now you can see around the whole rim of the coin there that the design is really faded. The word Liberty, the phrase "In God We Trust" is faded, and even the date 1943 itself is all faded out, and that is a result of a die adjustment strike. You also see that taking place there on the reverse on the back of the quarter as well. Now this coin here sold for over $220. Next up is one of my favorite types of errors. I found one of these in a coin roll from the bank before. This one is a 1976 Denver minted quarter. Now it does have an obverse die break, and we see that they're taking place on the date right underneath Washington's head. So these are kind of like nicknamed cut errors, but they are die breaks. Now they do vary in sizes. They could be smaller, they could be larger, but that is what they're gonna look like. They're gonna look like a bunch of metal squashed down on the coin there. So this quarter here sold for over $200. Next up is a 1978 Washington quarter. Now when you look at this quarter, you cannot really tell that anything's wrong with it. However, this quarter has been double struck and it is rotated in collar. So we can actually see the date 1978 there on the right side of Washington's head. All the way on the right side of the quarter, you can very, very faintly see that 1978. So that is the double strike, and then of course the design is rotated. So if we look here on the reverse, it's actually a little more noticeable. Underneath the word America, you can see the letters OF for of America. That's the double strike. And if we look there on the Q of quarter, you can see the double strike on there as well. And then right there to the right of the eagle's head, you can see the double strike of the feathers of the eagle. Now this quarter here sold for over $170. Moving right along, this is a 2000 South Carolina state quarter. Now it has the obverse and the reverse struck through. Now you can see here on the obverse on the front of the quarter, it looks like it would be damaged. However, it is a strike through error. Now you can see there on the reverse, you don't really see much at all. Most of the design is gone. So this quarter here sold for over $130. Super simple error to always look for in your pocket change. Don't need a coin microscope for that one either. Next up is another Washington quarter. This does not have a date. Now basically the obverse, the front of the quarter, has been struck through a cloth. So when the coin was being produced, some cloth got in the way of the coin being produced, and that's the ripple design that you see there on the quarter. That is from a cloth. Now you see that there's nothing there really affected on the back, on the reverse of the quarter, and this coin sold for over $280. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle, check out the videos to the left of me, and until tomorrow, I will see you all in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.